Dragon Shiryu is considered the most righteous and loyal bronze saint of all time. He sacrificed himself for his friends and for Athena, reaching a level of power that surpassed two gold saints, already in the Battle of the 12 Houses, right at the beginning of the saga. And now, in the official Heaven Saga, Shiryu will become Libra's gold saint. Hello, Saints and Amazons, how are you all doing? Welcome to the Semper Quiz Saber channel, I'm Wes. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how Shiryu became a gold saint in the official works of Saint Seiya, and how this could happen in the Heaven Saga. Did you like the topic? Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's start this awesome video. In the classic saga, more specifically in the thrilling and intense battle against the Emperor of the Seas, Poseidon, we have the first canonical and unforgettable moment when Shiryu used the Libra cloth. In that scenario where the pillars of Poseidon's temple had to be destroyed, the weapons of the Libra cloth were the only hope. This armor is not like the others. It has 12 deadly weapons, which are 2 swords, 2 tridents, 2 shields, 2 tonfas, 2 nunchakus, and 2 3-section staffs. However, these weapons are so destructive that the goddess Athena herself, who hates the use of weapons in combat, forbade their use, allowing it only in cases of extreme necessity with the authorization of the Libra saint. It was with the supreme power of these Libra weapons that Shiryu and the other bronze saints managed to bring down the immense pillars that imprisoned Athena on the main support. In addition to Shiryu wearing this armor completely to face Poseidon alongside his friends, another moment when this happens is in the Hades saga, where Shiryu wears the gold cloth, which ends up being completely destroyed by the god of death Thanatos. And throughout the timelines and expanded realities in other works of the franchise, we've seen Shiryu take his rightful place as the Gold Saint. In Saint Seiya, episode G Assassin and its sequel, episode of Requiem, Shiryu not only wears the Libra cloth, but also reaches a level of divine power, being portrayed as a relentless saint, mastering his master's techniques to absolute perfection. Shiryu was able to defeat a primordial goddess in the episode G Requiem saga, where he was sealed by the gods, but eventually managed to return to Earth, helping his fellow saints train the new incarnation of the goddess Athena. In this universe, he is the personification of justice and balance, proving that the rigorous training in the 5 ancient peaks of Rozan can forge an unparalleled warrior. Another work that features Shiryu as the new Libra saint is the anime Saint Seiya Omega, where after the death of Genbu of Libra, who was one of Master Doko's disciples in the past, Shiryu is recognized throughout the sanctuary as the legendary and official Gold Saint of Libra, serving as a pillar of hope for a new generation of Athena's defenders. However, in the current canonical saga, the most important, exciting, and canonical validation of all took place during the complex and dangerous Next Dimension saga. As we all know, after the holy war against Hades, Pegasus Seiya was confined to a wheelchair, cursed by the invisible sword of the god of the underworld, which was slowly piercing his heart and draining his life force. To save their friend, the saints traveled back to the 18th century during the previous holy war. And it is there, in the distant past, that Shiryu meets his former master. He comes face to face with the young version of Doko of Libra. During this encounter, which involves some trials in the House of Libra, Doko, even though he didn't believe it at first, witnesses Shiryu's unwavering determination. The ultimate proof comes when Shiryu's Cosmo reaches its maximum limit, and the image of the imposing emerald dragon appears tattooed on his back. The clash between the power of 200 dragons' wraths is thrilling, and with the dragon tattoo being clear proof that Shiryu could be recognized by the mythical dragon god, Doko of Libra from the past finally acknowledges Shiryu as his rightful successor and true disciple, thus sealing Shiryu's fate as the next guardian of the Libra temple. And it was exactly after the conclusion of this epic journey through time and Next Dimension that the long-awaited Heaven Saga officially began, which currently already has 6 incredibly intense chapters. The return of Athena and her knights to the present brought down the supreme fury of Olympus. The gods, enraged by the repeated insolence of humans and Athena who dared to manipulate time, decided to deliver the ultimate punishment. Apollo, the majestic and terrifying god of the sun, descended to Earth at the end of Next Dimension, bringing divine punishment. Instead of simply obliterating the knights physically, at the request of Athena, who sacrificed her divinity, Apollo imposed a much milder and more symbolic sentence. the absolute erasure of their memories. The divine punishment reduced Athena's legendary knights to mere ordinary humans, with no awareness of the latent power that still sleeps within their souls. And so far in this new canonical saga produced by Kurumada, only Sayori, Shun, and Seiya have officially appeared in the pages of the manga. All of them are suffering the relentless effects of the amnesia imposed by Apollo, and because of that, it's still a mystery where Shiryu might be. Many fans might imagine that with his memories erased, the dragon would be living peacefully in China. After all, it would make perfect sense for him to be isolated in the 5 ancient peaks of Rosanne, surrounded by the grand waterfall that he once reversed with his dragon's fury. There, he could be living a life of peace and tranquility, alongside his great love Shunhei, the girl who always prayed for his life during the battles. And together with his adopted son, little Shiryu, this would be the perfect setting for a man retired from war. However, the narrative that Masami Kurumada is creating points in a much more surprising and interconnected direction. Considering that the 4 characters who have already appeared in the Heaven Saga are all located in Greece, it is extremely likely that Shiryu and also Hyoga of Cygnus are there as well. Fate seems to have kept all 5 of Athena's defenders close, possibly living ordinary and peaceful lives among the simple villagers of the village of Rodorio. Pegasus Seiya, the man who raised his Cosmo to strike the face of gods, is now living humbly with his older sister, Saga. For those who don't remember, Saga also has a long and tragic history with amnesia. For years, she wandered around Rodorio with no memories of her brother, until she was found by Marine during the war against Hades, where the resonance of her voice helped Seiya in the Elysian fields. Ironically, the roles are now reversed. Saga has regained her memories, but now she is the one who works hard to hide the whole truth about Seiya's past as a saint, trying to protect him from returning to a life of bloodshed and pain. She wants him to have the normal life that was stolen from him in childhood. And so, the Godslayer is currently working hard as a simple construction worker. Andromeda's Shun, the one with the purest heart in the world, has also found a fate that perfectly mirrors his gentle and non-violent soul. He is living with an old and charismatic farmer who found him disoriented and took him in as if he were his own son. Shun has become a florist in the village. The man who once wielded the indestructible chains of Andromeda, capable of crossing dimensions, now uses his hands to cultivate and care for flowers, spreading beauty and peace wherever he goes. But the most critical and dangerous situation falls on the shoulders of Sarikido, the incarnation of the goddess of wisdom and just war after visiting the 12 houses of the zodiac in the sanctuary, began to awaken her memories and powers. The place is now completely abandoned, silent, and melancholic. This visit to the ruins of her former domain caused Saori to have brief but intense memory lapses and sudden eruptions of divine power. Currently, the goddess has arrived at the Elysian Fields. This is a sacred place that is very close to the sanctuary itself, a paradise whose flowers are not ordinary plants. Saori is now facing none other than the terrifying goddess Kur. And for those who don't know her, Kur is not just any goddess. In the series mythology, Kur is the goddess of cruel fate and violent deaths, the younger and equally sadistic sister of the twin gods, Thanatos and Hypnos. She is a malevolent entity, a direct emissary of darkness, responsible for manipulating events from the shadows for decades. It was Kur who sent the evil spirit Lemur, who possessed Gemini's Saga years ago, triggering the entire war in the sanctuary that almost destroyed Athena. Now Kur appears in person, hell-bent on destruction, to annihilate the Earth's protective goddess once and for all. Meanwhile, Phoenix Ikki met Jun near the sanctuary. They both walked through ancient ruins, which was exactly the same place where Sari, Seiya, and Shun met for the first time after losing their memories. It was there that the residual cosmos of the legendary Iorus of Sagittarius magically and inexplicably transported his iconic testament, taking it from the walls of the House of Sagittarius and engraving those words on those ruins. Everything in the manga so far strongly indicates that these sacred ruins, where the will inherited in Aorus's testament now shines, are a place that mysteriously attracts the bronze saints who are wandering without memories. And that's why, my friends, we now move on to the explosive prediction for Chapter 7. It's highly likely that Shiryu and Hyoga will be drawn to this place in the next chapter as well, and maybe they'll experience flashes of their blocked memories. Just like what surprisingly happened with Ikki recently, who clearly remembered a flower that bloomed in a true hell. If Ikki managed to crack Apollo's seal by remembering that reference to what he experienced on Death Queen Island, the Dragon Knight and the Swan will also have that chance. And Ikki, guided by his instincts, is also heading to the earthly Elysium, exactly where Athena is fighting her battle against the goddess Ker. Shun also arrived at this place at the end of Chapter 6. And because of that, the earthly Elysium could be the key place where Shiryu will reunite with Athena and his fellow knights. As I already mentioned here in the video in Next Dimension, Shiryu was officially recognized by Roku of Libra as his legitimate successor and disciple. Therefore, the natural path would be for him to finally take on and wear the Libra gold cloth permanently in the Heaven Saga to crush Athena's enemies. However, we all remember what happened in the Elysian Fields during the Hades Saga. The majestic Libra gold cloth, along with the Sagittarius, Aquarius, Virgo, and Leo cloths, were destroyed by the god of death. Now, for Libra to come back to life, there are only two ways. The first would be direct resurrection with Athena's blood, which has already proven capable of restoring the bronze cloths in the Hades Saga. The second way, and perhaps the most exciting for fans, would be through Kiki. After the death of his beloved master, Mu of Ares, at the Wailing Wall, Kiki may have improved his skills, becoming the last armor restorer. And that's why he could be responsible for bringing the gold armors back, possibly even starting with the Libra armor, since Kiki has a great friendship with Shiryu. With this, we understand that there are many possibilities for destiny to be fulfilled, giving enough room for Masami Kurumada to officially create the moment when Shiryu will become a gold saint. Leave your opinion about all this in the comments, and of course, thank you for watching this video until the end, and see you next time. Let your Cosmo burn to infinity.